Urban Country, also known as Changing Saddles, is a pretty good film. This was released in 2018. It's directed by Teddy Smith, it's written by Gianna Montelaro, and it stars Brighton Sharbino as Faith. And Faith, at the start of the film, has some pretty unacceptable behaviour, to the point where she's actually in jail. And I have to say, I've seen many films where a young protagonist, usually a young female protagonist, is not displaying the best behaviours, and they go off to a ranch and spend time out in the country with horses and then learn to look at things differently. But never have I seen one where their behaviour is so bad that they're completely on the wrong side of the law and being punished accordingly. And I like that. It was a powerful start. It worked really well, and it showed that Faith really has a long way to go for her to have a better outlook. But it's not just all on her. There are things happening in her life that are very difficult for her to deal with. So she goes out to the country and learns to adapt to that lifestyle and look at things differently and spend time with some rather beautiful animals. I will say the horses are not in it anywhere near as much as I would have liked. And I'm not, I'm not a horse mad person or anything. But if you're watching this looking for a film where a horse really heavily features, that's not really going to be the case. The horse is in it enough, but not as much as I would have liked. But nevertheless, it's a nice story. Faith is also very likeable from the very beginning, which I think definitely is important, because had it took quite a while to warm to her, to get used to her character, it would have been harder to follow her journey immediately and emotionally. But pretty much from the very beginning, I wanted the best for her, and I think it was very obvious that there were things troubling her. There were problems in her life. This wasn't just bad behaviour for the sake of it. I feel like most people, when they're having bad behaviour, there is an external factor contributing. There are probably exceptions, but it was very clear with Faith that there were things in her life that were just causing her to act out, and going out to the country was a really good way for her to reconnect, not just with the world around her, but with herself as well, and obviously with a horse. So that was quite nice. It's a good film. I really like these kinds of stories. I think they're generally really interesting, and thankfully Urban Country is no exception. And Faith, as I said, is a really likeable character from the very beginning. I really wanted the best for her, and it was very easy to emotionally get behind her journey. So if you like this kind of film, as I said, there are many films where usually a young female protagonist goes out to a ranch or to the country to spend time with horses. And if you like those kinds of films, then I think you'll like Urban Country. Yes, I think the horse could have been in it a little bit more, but it doesn't take away from the main narrative or anything. And ultimately, I thought Urban Country was a decent film, and definitely one that I'm happy to recommend.